Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we are taking a look at DerVoco Vocoder from BeepStreet, the guys who bring us Sunrise and Sion.
Hey, hello everybody. So yes, a vocoder. I love vocoders. So this is it's a vocoder. What else can you say? So this is set up. Let me just show you how this is set up. To get it to work as, so I'm using iSEM. You can see I've got another one set up there, but I'm using iSEM. You can stop that. iSEM as a modulator here. So set up your modulator of choice here. It could be any synth you like, and I'll show you what happens. You can change the sound with the synth. So you set up 3 channels. Don't have to worry about those 2. Set up 3 channels to get it to do the classic vocalizing vocoder like I've just been doing. And that was just picking up off the iPad mic. If you have another mic plugged in, it's gonna get much better results than that. So you set up the channels like this, like 3 channels, okay? First one is your carrier, then your microphone, and then you want to set up a pan or a stereo balance, doesn't really matter, pan 1 left, pan 1 hard right. So you pan the synth hard left and the microphone hard right. Then you set up a mix bus here, so mix bus here, and you mix bus A and mix bus A, and then set up this 3rd channel to receive from the mix bus, so exactly like this. So again, mix bus, and then you can have your output here, which is because I'm going out the iPad microphone headphone socket here into the mixer, and then you can put in DerVoco here. There it is, and I've just applied a little bit of EOS for some reverb. I can take that out, and I'll quickly run through some of these. So you have a couple of different ways that this will work. The best thing to do is, if you like it, this is how I would use a vocoder. But you can do it in different ways as well. You have different ways to set this up. You can play it with a keyboard like this, or anything you like. Basically, I don't know why my voice changes when I'm doing that. There's really no need, because you just talk normal and play the notes and things. Anyway. That's that. Oh, and it has a nice hold function too, so you can hold. Right, but I'm using this as an input mode. Okay, so you can see that I've got this like set up like that. Now it does have a noise gate as well. So if I play a chord on the keyboard, or it's MIDI'd, right? Let me just explain as well. I have this MIDI'd up to my oxygen, and my iSEM is routed to my oxygen keyboard. Okay, hello 1 2. So as soon as I play a note on the oxygen, it triggers the vocoder. Also, as well, for that kind of classic vocoder sound, sawtooth waves in your synth work best, or brass sounds are the best thing to use of that kind of classic type of vocoder. But you can use anything. It doesn't really matter. There's no real big deal. The big deal here is how this is set up. That's important, okay? So taking a look at the vocoder in general, you have this classic here, and then you can have more bands to your vocoder here. So let's play a chord. Let's play a chord and make some adjustments to the bands like this. Now you can see it works like an EQ. Vocoder bands, so you can draw in different ways. And obviously it will make a difference. So you can just set it up how you like. Smiling ones work quite nice for. Let me turn the mic out.
Smiling ones work quite nice for the classic vocoder type sounds.
Now, the cool thing is, and it was really important with vocoders, is having some sort of noise gate. So if I basically turn the noise gate off, you're going to hear all sorts of extra noises while I'm playing, but you can set the noise gate to suit, so you'll have a lot more control over the sound.
Have a lot more control over the sound. La 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 la. And then you have like an overall amplitude volume control. And then you have a DSM. You can switch that on like that. Hello everybody. So now it starts to sound a little more vocodary. So you want that on if you're getting some.
You don't want that on if you're getting some feedback and stuff.
La 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 la. It goes with vocoders. And then you have a cue point there, like that. And it's also moving to, or you can just go back to classic. So you have
A lot of control. So what happens, right? Oh, of course you can fade between dry and wet. Okay, so let's see. Changing the sounds. Okay, so what happens? The carrier, this is the carrier, microphone is the modulator. The carrier basically, I think, no, is it? No, wait a second, is it the other way around? I always get confused. But anyway, the point being is when you change a sound, it's going to change all the characteristics of the vocoder sound. Okay, so for instance, we could, if we're playing, let me just turn that down a bit. If we're playing this sound and we all of a sudden change to a different sound, something like that, 1 2 1 2. You see, it changes the way that the sound works. So I mean, if it was like organ sound, let's try buzz organ. It's not going to do anything until you play your keyboard like this. So that would sound okay played higher up the keyboard. Strings are sometimes quite nice too. So that was quite high up the keyboard. So I'll close the microphone, see if we can get something nice with that.
this is the nice further down the keyboard. It's quite nice.
No idea what it's going to do if I play a sequence. Hello. Oh, that's interesting. Hello. 1 2. Now I say what's happening. What's happening there is the sequence is triggering, so I don't need to play the keyboard. So if you've got anything that's auto triggering, that's going to pick up the vocoder as well. So if I bring the iPad back in now, and I talk through the microphone, it's going to trigger the sequence like that. And probably the same for all other sequences that are on hold. But that's why, because the sequence is on hold. Well, that means you can get some nice effects going if you're singing and you want some sort of rhythmic backdrop. That's pretty cool beans. Well, I think it is. I don't know. There are lots of... and that's not going to do anything till I play. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da. So some of them aren't going to be great. The thing is to experiment with sounds. Sounds like this. Of course, you can use any synth you like. La, 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 la. I'm doing it again. I have this tendency. I can't sing at all, so... But you're kind of trying to pitch your voice to what you're doing on the keyboard. It's really strange. Anyway. Hello, everybody. Hi, Washpad. So there's a look at that way of doing it. I quite like that way. That's how I'd use it. It makes much more sense to me. That does. Now, of course, you're not going to hear anything from iSEM because I'm going into and that's going into the vocoder. So that's why you're not hearing iSEM at all, even though it's routed to the MIDI keyboard. Okay, so I'll just turn them down. Okay, so this is, let's take that out. This is another way you could use it as well. You can process rhythmical instruments through it, or like you just synth sequences and stuff, and use a different type of features on the vocoder to do that as well. So if we press play, and we're not going to, right, why am I hearing anything here from AXON? That's weird, because I'm bypassing that. I'm going to my phones. All the volumes are turned up. Well, we will sort this out in a sec. Well, that's weird, isn't it? That is very strange. Oh, let me just do this. Let me remove that channel. And let me set up something else to make sure nothing's gone wrong. Let's set up Phosphor. And I'll route that to my Oxygen. Okay. I don't know why that happened. It's weird. Okay, let's try it with AXON again. Audio unit. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now let's apply some DerVoco to that. Let's try. Let's just do the effect. There's two types as well. I haven't quite got my head around the other one yet. Now, input mode. So now you see you can process other instruments through the vocoder as well. So basically, there you go, guys. Without going on and on different instruments, you've basically seen the kind of thing you can do. Of course, you can route stuff in AUM or whatever you're using to all sorts of creative levels, you know. But like I said, that's how I would use the vocoder. You know, I think it's very nice. It sounds lush. I mean, it's better with a microphone plugged in to it, obviously, because, you know, you've got more control because it's only picking up from the mic. It's quite a long way from my mouth. So, you know, but it still sounds pretty darn good, and especially when you start to add effects in, that's where it gets. It's where it gets really cool. So just to hello, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, so 1 2. It still takes the volume from there. So let me go back to a brass load. Let me go back to a brass patch here. So we go all banks here, and we can go to, where are we? Brass here. I'm not sure which one it was. 1 2 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2 1 2. I'd have to make some adjustments. Cinematic. Factory brass. It's not bad. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Brass. That was loud. Brass. So once you set up your sound that you want without having to go through all the other stuff again, you can apply like effects and stuff, which make everything sound better. And of course, you're not limited to put in a reverb on there. You could put like any effect or any chain of effects you want. The basic thing is you just got to mess around until you get a sound you like, you know. But that's the setup. Now, you don't necessarily have to have an effect, but that's the setup for using your like vocoder, the DerVoco, as a classic kind of standard vocoder, and then you can just mess around with all the settings you like. Guys, I'll put links in the description for DerVoco in the video below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And my squeaky chair. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a patron, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching.